Hello, everyone, and welcome to Renee Live. I know it's been a while since I've aired, and I just haven't been able to do many shows lately because I've been busy with other things. But every once in a while, I like to pop on and do a show. And today I have my soul sister, who's a master astrologer, and she is Linda Johnston, and she is amazing, and
Oh,
we're going to talk about several different things um, tonight and probably be all over the place. But we're going to have fun, and it's going to be like just two friends talking to each other. This is pre recorded, so um, I'll be in the chat when it airs, but I'm not going to be answering, we're not going to be answering questions live on the air. So here we go. Welcome, Linda.
hey, thanks for having me on. It's been a
Oh, it's so
while.
great to have you back. It has been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Time flies. I can't believe like we were just talking behind the scenes how grown up all our kids are.
I know.
It
I
seems like
know.
yesterday they were little.
They were little, and they grow up
God,
too
time
fast, you
flies.
know? It flies by too fast.
It does. It really does. I agree.
So you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Yes. Yes. Can't
And
complain.
ladies and gentlemen, as you know, didn't know, but we're both like cooks for schools, for our
Yes,
own
we
little
are.
school districts, and we both work in the kitchen by ourselves and
Yep.
do our thing. So we feed the kids.
I love it. I like working rural Arizona. I will never go back to the big city. You can have it.
Yeah.
Plus, you have a better survival rate in the rural.
Right. Exactly. I could do away with all this snow and this cold wind, and stuff. But
Right,
I mean, I'm inside and I don't, who really cares, right? I mean, I'm inside, I'm warm, but I like to be outside. And
right.
snow and cold, the cold isn't so bad. It's the wind.
Well, yeah, because it's the wind chill factor brings the
Yeah.
temperature down even more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the wind.
It,
I've watched the weather and the East Coast. I've never seen temperatures that low. Minus, there was one town, Bismarck. I know you're nowhere near there, but I'm like minus 34. Oh my God.
we
That's
have
cold.
we were down in the negatives last month in January, and the wind chill factor was pretty cold, but it wasn't too bad. Um, but we've been getting dumped on a lot with snow right now. Excuse me. And a lot of it's lake effect. So we've gotten quite a bit of snow in the last couple of weeks, last 3 or 4 weeks. And we've been like, okay, this is what winters used to be, so we can't complain about it. We grew up with
We've
this.
had we've had the driest winter ever. And everyone thinks, oh,
Excuse
you're in
me.
Arizona, so you're cooking and roasting in Phoenix. I'm nowhere near Phoenix. I'm like 2.5 hours north of Phoenix. I'm rural in the country. I'm more closer to Flagstaff than I am Phoenix. And
Right.
it snows here, but this year, Flagstaff hasn't even gotten that much snow. California has taken all of our moisture. They're all getting the wetness and the
Yep.
rains and all of that. So we do need the rain though, and we do need the snow. So I'm hoping we get at least we got one day of snow this winter. That's it. And last winter we had it continuously for several months. So it was like this kind of didn't really feel like we got much of a winter this year.
Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit. We've used three of our four snow days so far.
Oh,
And this week
wow.
we've been on break. So I think if we had school this week, we would have used one or two.
We get five a year and we haven't used one yet. And that's not normal for us because we usually use them all, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just the way the weather is. It's getting worse and
We've
worse.
had a lot of 1 and 2 hour, well, a lot of 2 hour delays,
Oh, really?
because of the roads and stuff. Yeah, we've used quite a few of those, which is good because they still get the funding, right? But you still have to go in on a 2 hour delay. Um,
Yeah,
and
we
do
get
what
those
you would
too.
normally do, except for, the breakfast isn't a part of
That
it.
we do that too. We go in 2 hour delay. We don't serve the
Yeah,
breakfast, just the lunch.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean it still, works out, but these are like when we grew up. Think about it, Linda. I mean, when we grew up in, the 70s and 80s, I can remember, feet of snow, like feet at a time,
Right.
and I saw a thing, was it the winter of 74, was it, that we had that really bad snowstorm in New York City that we lost power for like a week and everything. And I'm like, I can remember grandma lighting up the fireplace and using that to cook on. And that's how we had to heat. We just stayed right at grandma's house,
Right.
and yeah, because I mean it was connected. So grandma did all the cooking, and our half of the house had a fireplace too, but and that's how we kept it heated. But we were always at grandma's, because grandma had lots of goodies, Italian goodies.
Oh, of course. It's always great to go to Nana's house.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I remember that, when you couldn't even see out the windows and it's like that much snow. But this is just like growing up. And I think people forget, they forget what winters were like.
That's true. I grew up in California, so I didn't experience all that. We got a lot of rain, but ours was earthquakes. Yeah, earthquakes. I was I was Loma Prieta, 1989. The big one hit, and I was like, wow,
Are
that
you
was
glad to be out
crazy.
of California?
I'm like I said, I saw the handwriting on the wall about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I moved in the thick of COVID, right during the whole
I
but you know
remember,
what?
Jeff.
Sometimes you find the best deals when there's chaos.
Yes.
When there's chaos on the streets, like COVID and a lockdown, that's when you move in and grab your little double wide, as I
Yep.
call it.
Yep. No, it's true. It's so true, right? I mean, how crazy. But, right? I mean, I moved,
Yep, you got
you
it.
know.
It's for the greater good of your own self and your family.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
because I know what's coming for California, and it isn't pretty. And I have friends and family there still,
Yeah.
and they all laughed at me, just like they laughed at me when I started investing in Bitcoin in 2020 2016. They laughed and they laughed, and I'm like, this is the American dollar will crash eventually. May not happen tomorrow or today, but eventually it is going to happen. And the digital thing is the future.
Hmm.
Well, keep laughing. I'll laugh all the way to the bank.
Well, and that's it, when I say things to people about prepping, because I'm a big prepper, right? I mean,
I am too. I
I
try to
see
be.
things, you have astrology and I have spirit, and you know, um, and I tell people, and people laugh, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm done. I am done. If people aren't gonna listen now, nothing's gonna change their
Mhm.
mind. And so I'm just gonna focus on like-minded people and my family, and that's it. I'm not I have been like, I'm barely on Facebook anymore,
I
you know.
am not on I
I
am, but I'm not. I'm on Facebook, but I never go on there. I didn't delete my app. I just log out because when you log
Yeah,
out, Zuckerberg doesn't make any money. And that's my
yeah.
master plan. He doesn't make any money.
Well, I got off of it because all I could see, like, not on my personal account because I have two accounts, but
I
on
do too.
on the Renee Marie one, people just bickering and fighting and calling this one that, all over political stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, stop. We are in a spiritual battle, man, that has nothing to do with any of this. And I just get so tired of hearing it and seeing it, and just want people to sit back and clear their mind, stop watching the news, and
That's the
you know,
first mistake,
well,
watching
that's
the
it,
news.
right? And just, be for a little bit, disconnect from all of that, and then take a good look at the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Why are people, we had the problems down in North Carolina, right, with the flooding. God, you know,
Oh, Hurricane Helene, I think.
so disturbing with the flooding and what they went through down there. And then now out in California, and they've got the flooding, and now Kentucky and Tennessee, the eastern parts are flooded there. And
I know.
I just think, you have regular people going out and just helping. This should be every day, every day, every
I
day. We
know.
should be caring about each other and be willing to help each other and be there for each other and compassionate and caring and, building each other up instead of tearing each other down. And, it takes the catastrophe to see that it's there. But then when it's all taken care of, a lot of people forget that, um, and I think that's what bothers me the most is that,
There's no
everybody
empathy or
can have a different
compassion.
opinion and different views and stuff, but
Mhm.
you gotta love one another, man. You gotta understand that if we were all the same, life would be so stinking boring. It
That's
would,
true.
if we all dressed alike and had the same house with the same picket fence and, the
Mhm.
same number of kids and just acted all giddy giddy. I mean, it would be boring. There'd be nothing to talk about. But people don't need to yell, and scream and fight over the differences. That's the thing that I think disturbs me the most. So I've gotten off of it. I've gotten off of Facebook. I pop in once in a while, but I don't, you
I do
know,
too,
um,
but
put out like I did before.
I don't either. I don't really post. In fact, I hadn't been on it in like 20 days, and I went on just to check, and realized someone I knew from California died. So I'm like,
Oh,
I'm depressed now.
I
I
know.
mean, it's really the only reason I go on there is to stay in the loop of what's
Yeah.
happening around me because I don't know because I'm not on it, you know.
When
But yeah,
when Linda, when have you like done anything about the new cities, the 15-minute cities and stuff? Have you checked into any of that, like astrologically?
the smart
You have.
cities,
Yeah, the smart cities, like
not
LA.
astrologically, but I will tell you this, okay? Bill Gates just bought 40, maybe I could be wrong on the acreage. It's either between 20 and 40,000 acres of land west of Phoenix in a place called Buckeye. Now, Buckeye is like a suburb of Phoenix. This is like 2.5 hours away from me. And someone told me that these billionaires are going, Elon Musk is going to do it too in Texas. He's building these smart cities. This is where the oligarchy and the 1% say they have everything and you have nothing and you will like it. They'll provide you with a smart city, but you have to work for their company. That's what my understanding, a smart city, it's like people are employed by SpaceX or Microsoft or whatever, and they live in these smart cities and they either pay rent or live there rent free. I don't know, but it isn't good. It's like taking away your independence of free living. I wouldn't want to live on one, you know. I think it's a horrible idea. It's a
They
form
were
of
pretty
control.
ugly from what I've
They're,
seen in plans. They're
yeah,
ugly.
they're
And that's
ugly.
what's going in North Carolina, in Asheville, in LA
They're
is going to be
popping
a
up.
smart city
Mhm.
because, the Olympics are going there in 2028. So lo and behold, we have these fires. Now we have these floods.
If there's even a planet left in
I know.
2028, I mean,
And
shit.
Syracuse, even Syracuse, New York, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen there because that's sites for a smart city.
Really? So yeah, I am aware. I'm not like fully educated on them, but I'm aware that they're popping up. Like when I heard about the one in Arizona, I'm like, oh, so it begins. Yeah, I heard about I heard about the one down in Los Angeles area, that area. I didn't hear about the one in North Carolina, but
Asheville.
I'm starting to hear more and more people talk about these smart cities. And I do think it's just a way to control. They don't want people to be independent. They want people to be needy. They want people to so they can control them. They don't like the prepper that lives out in the forest,
I know.
that's, has got her solar generator or her generator ready to go, and food stocked and water. They don't want that.
No, no. They don't want us preppers. They want the
No,
ones
no,
because we can do without,
exactly.
literally. You know what I mean? And we can go, being independent
Hmm.
and making it work,
Very true. That's
you know.
very true.
I I think it'll be really interesting um with what I've seen and what you've pulled up, you know, um astrologically for the United States, but and what I've seen through time travel, through for Peter Canellis's book, he's local here. Um I've gone under hypnosis twice for him for his book. So it should be interesting. So that should be published soon. I believe right now he's putting the finishing touches on it and
Is that your
working on a
publicist?
cover. Huh?
Is that your publicist?
No, he's a friend of mine
Oh,
who
okay.
owns a paranormal team here in my area in New York
Oh,
State,
okay, okay.
who is fascinated with time travel and what can be seen. So I went under hypnosis, and instead of going back, I went in the future.
How
And so
how
far,
far into the future do you go? I'm curious.
I went to 2040.
Okay. You know why I asked that is because I never hear of a time traveler talking about anything past the year 3790. I never hear of a time, and I think that's because the world, even Nostradamus said the world comes to an end in 37. Could not be,
Really,
it's 37 something. It could be 3790,
I
but
want to
year
say
3790,
37.9, maybe.
he just says
Could
that I
be.
think the earth just gets like engulfed, not engulfed, but like a black hole just swallows it.
Really?
And so I go, I never see a time traveler after 37 something. They're always, 2640, 2510. Like, the next time I talk to a time traveler, I have to ask what year they go in from, where they're coming from, what year. I just find it interesting, things that make you go, hmm.
Well, this year we're going to start seeing aliens. We're going to actually start seeing them. I mean, I've seen them. I've seen ships for years now. Mom, when she was live, would tell me that I would see them and talk to her about them when I was little, a toddler, you know. And she'd be like, "Oh my God." But this year we're going to start seeing them. We're going to actually see them and they're going to integrate in. And the thing is people can't be afraid. They're not here to hurt anybody. They're here to help. They're here to help us. And um it parts of the government, not all of it, parts of it are going to try to instill fear um to get us to not accept them, but they're not here to hurt us. They want to help us with everything that's going on. They want to help us into the new world. So it's not that we're going to go through the end of the world. It's the end of what we know as we know it now, right? It's the end
I
of
think
as we know it. Like with the Mayan calendar,
it's
when it
like it's
ended,
an
everybody thought it
age.
was going
The
to end.
change
What was,
in the ages. It's the age of Aquarius moving in.
yeah,
It
yes.
the ages, it's a shift in the ages. We just left the age of Pisces, or we're at the final breath of it. you hear a lot of astrologers battle back and forth about, or we're not in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is until the year 2100 and something. Well, not necessarily. Well, Pluto just entered Aquarius for the next 20 years. I
Yeah,
would say we're in the beginning stages.
I'm kind of excited about it,
I am
really.
too. I am
You
too.
know, change is
Radical
good.
change.
Change is very good, but people have a fear. They fear change, right? That nobody likes change, but change can be really good. It's all your mindset.
That is
It's
true.
all in your mindset.
This is true as long as change is for the greater good of all and not
Right,
just a few billionaires.
right,
See where I'm going with that? Change needs to be for the greater good of all and not just an oligarchy. And
right.
that's what concerns me. But like I said, there's people that laugh at you when you talk about this stuff. And it's like, well, guess I know how Noah felt when he was building that boat.
Well, I mean, I think you and I have some different views on that, and and it's okay. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm
Because we
not
still love each
religious at
other.
all. I'm not a Christian.
Yep,
I'm a pagan. I'm
yep,
not Wiccan, but I am pagan and I follow a path of nature.
yep.
I'm also a star witch, so I work with the stars. But no, I mean, I don't really believe that God came down and wrote any books. Those were prophets. God's true message is written in starlight. You have to learn how to read the messages he's
Yeah,
presenting.
yeah.
The Magi, the three wise men, those were astrologers following a star.
Do you know that New York State back in 2019 made it illegal to read the clouds?
What? How could you arrest someone for reading the clouds?
I could go on.
Well, New York has very ridiculous laws, just like California.
New York can stick it up their ass
Yeah,
because
I know.
I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of all of our corrections officers are on strike right now.
Really?
The jails, the jails, your maximum security prisons, right on down through the county. They're all on strike right now. They had to call in the National Guard in the
Oh
last
my
couple of
God.
days to come in and take over the jails because our corrections officers are all on strike.
Wow. Well, sounds about
Our
the way the
governor's a
world's going. Huh?
our governor's a beauty.
I don't know who that is.
I
I
never
couldn't
call her
tell you that
her real
any
name.
governors of any state per se. I mean, I know a few
Hochul,
governors. Who?
Hochul
Hochul. She the one who took over, was it
for Cuomo.
Cuomo? Oh God.
Who I heard is going to try to run for the mayor of New York City. He's going to try to get
Who
in. He was
is? Cuomo?
Cuomo.
Well, politics. It's a simple man's game. I'm sorry. Politics and religion is a simple man's game for simple-minded people. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not passionate about being a progressive thinker, because I am. I don't have issues with gay people because I know that they're born by their stars. Their
Right.
celestial DNA programs them to be gay. It's the way it is. It's written in the stars. Um,
Do you know?
but
You know what my theory is on that? You
the
spend several
water,
lifetimes as one sex.
what?
You spend several lifetimes as one sex, and you try for another to be another sex in this new lifetime,
I
and
don't know.
you're not used to it.
My last life, I was a woman, but the life before that, I was male.
Right. I've been back and forth too. But
Yes.
what I'm saying is those who have spent several of their lifetimes as just one sex and not yet been.
Oh,
You see what I'm
okay.
saying?
Okay. Okay, that
Like
makes,
with
I get
anything, it's
that.
change. Okay, saying, yeah, okay, I've been a male all these lifetimes. I'll try being a female this lifetime. And it's not it's not working for them. And I've talked to several friends of mine who, who are gay
Hmm.
or lesbian, and they've said yes, that's exactly how they feel. They feel that they are more comfortable being that. And I attribute it to the past lives, excuse me, of going back in regression with them, through readings and
Okay.
stuff,
Hmm.
of them being that specific sexual orientation in past lives and then coming into this lifetime. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, it
Where and
does.
that's where they would feel out of place. A lot of them would feel out of place and everything else. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
It does. It's it's tough to be gay in this world in this day and age, that's for sure.
Hmm.
You know.
It is. But that's my theory on it.
All right, right on.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say. You summed it up.
Oh, I could tell you. Oh, sorry about that. I could tell you a lot of my different theories that would like blow your mind, totally blow your mind, but they make sense. And it's what I've heard from spirit too. So be interesting. So you have mapped out. Can you show everybody your chart? The United States.
So this is the United States. It was United States became a nation July 4th, 1776 at 6:30 p.m. in Philadelphia. And I highlighted some things in orange. I don't know if you guys could see that. I'm trying to hold it as steady as possible. So if you notice on this map, please remember I'm not a modern astrologer. I practice ancient astrology. I'm certified in the Nostradamus method, and I'm also studying Babylonian astrology at the moment, and will be certified in that in the very near future. So I do practice ancient astrology. I work with the housing system and the north and south nodes, which we call the dragon's head and tail. So that is how Nostradamus predicted his predictions, was through that method of astrology. I do believe Nostradamus combined Chinese and Babylonian and Draconian and combined them all together. And he was working on the sidereal method before we all went on the tropical. But
Right.
United States is born natally with a dragon's head in Leo on the second house, which is wealth and money. You could see that right there where I'm pointing. Second house, wealth and money, has a wheel of fortune there. So the United States have always been a wealthy nation, whether it was from the land they stole from others or whatnot, they've always had wealth. Okay. And they always seem to be the kings, right? Well, let's go and look at the dragon's tail. Now, the dragon's head is your destiny. Think of the wheel of fortune in the tarot. Moving on to the tail. I do want to do one thing and circle this. I just circled the moon. Anytime you have a dragon's tail sitting on the eighth house represents life, death, drama, rebirth, chaos. This represents joint finances. It represents the occult world in a lot of ways. It's witchcraft house. The eighth house is always the house of witchcraft, but its tail sits in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius in its positive is man's innovations, UFOs, ETs, cosmic consciousness, higher consciousness, um, connecting with our galactic brothers. But when you have the tail, which the United States has, sitting on its eighth house with the moon sitting there together, this represents dishonesty with UFOs and UFO technology. So like what we were just talking about before we went live, about how they've been dishonest, like Skunk Works, Lockheed Martin, they've been so dishonest, and they have all this technology that, um, if they were to share it with the world today, electric cars are obsolete. That is not a
Right.
new thing. That's obsolete. They're sitting on technology that could end world hunger, that could help the whole planet from not destroying itself, but they're greedy, they're dishonest, and I don't know if they've worked out an alliance with, I mean, please remember, just like human beings, ETs, there's good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's positive and negative. So I do think there's negative ETs working with our secret government, which is what this is all about on that tail. That is our secret government. Um, and like you were saying, you believe that there will be contact. I do believe that too. Um, we were just talking about that guy, Dr. Stephen Greer. Now, I know a lot of people not a fan of his, and I don't know him all that well, but I have watched some of his documentaries, and it's like, oh my gosh. He goes, I do want to warn everyone who's watching me today that our government in the very near future, and this was in 2023, he said that they're going to create a fake alien invasion to scare the
Mm-hmm.
shit out of you. I hope I can cuss.
It's okay. Yeah, you can.
To scare the heck out of you, and make kind of like make you submit. When people are fearful, they'll submit. Okay. And then you just said, well, they're here to help. And you're right. But the next dragon that moves is July 27th, um, 2026. And it goes all the way till January, I think it's like the 18th, 2028. That 18-month window is when the dragon's head is in Aquarius and the tail is in Leo. In 18 months from now, that dragon's tail universally will be sitting on the United States' second house, meaning money. Our money is going bye-bye. The American dollar is going to go bye-bye. It's going to hurt a lot of people, but on a positive, contact will be made. Now, it won't be made with every single human being. In
Right.
fact, it'll be made with the completely cosmically conscious. It will not be made with the people fighting on TikTok over Trump and Democrats or this or Christians or racists fighting with the African American community. They're not going to, you are low vibrating humans and they will not waste your time. They might contact you, they might make connections with the shaman up the road, the chief of the Navajo Nation. Of course, they're going to make contact with our indigenous brothers and sisters. They've always been there with them from the
Yep.
start.
Yep.
Um,
I've
but
had I've had contact with them. I have had
so
in the past 10, 15 years, um, several different occasions. Yes.
I'm going to this thing in Sedona. I don't have it's on my calendar. I'm going to like this event where I go into meditation because I've been doing a lot of meditation, and it's called a CE something, where you can make contact, and they go into a deep, deep trance. You go into deep, deep meditation, and then sometimes people open their eyes and they're there. They're like little UFOs all around them, and so I'm going to this event up in Sedona where the vortexes are, and the energy is very, very prone to UFO connections. I'm going to go and kind of learn how to really tap into that energy and really,
anybody can actually do it as long as you're higher vibrational,
right.
and when you sit down and you just be calm and start asking, telepathically, it's all done telepathically, right?
Right.
Start asking, are you there? Can you hear me? And asking questions, and you will get telepathic responses back. It just takes time to recognize
Right.
that. Like, so one time when I was outside where I used to live, and this was back in 2011 or 12, and I was outside with one of my friends who was visiting me from California and staying with me for a couple of weeks. And we were both outside and we were joking. And I said to her, I said, look, I said, there's a UFO, there's the portal right up there, and there's the UFO. And she's like, oh my God. And I said, and off to your left, notice the three shadow figures. I said, those are, she's like, no. I said, yeah. So we stood there and I was like, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then after probably about 20 minutes, my third eye, it felt the pressure was so strong and it hurt. It hurt. Um, and I honestly feel they weren't trying to hurt me. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it was the pressure was so, and the same thing was happening to her because she had the same abilities too, similar. And we were both experiencing it at the same time. And I said, I'm going to break contact right now. I know you're not trying to hurt me. This hurts really bad, this pressure. And so I'm going inside now, and safe travels. And thank you for
Mm-hmm.
your time and sharing with us. And I went inside and it was gone. And, so, and with hers too, but it was a trip. I mean, it was painful, Linda. It was very painful, but they were doing whatever they were doing. We weren't abducted. You know what I mean?
Right. You weren't
But
probed.
we weren't probed. But shadow people, if you think about what they look like in the longer arms and the longer bodies, they are your aliens.
I've been
And
seeing them a lot more lately, to be honest
yes,
with you.
and you're like I said, they're not here to hurt us. They're curious,
Right.
and but they're here to help us. You know what I'm saying? So why fear them? I mean, really, why fear them? It's
I think
nothing to be fearful
society
of if they want to
and the
help us.
media.
They're not gonna hurt you to kill you. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
that was their curiosity, and I knew that, and I've had
Well,
several different sightings and stuff since then, but
I think the ETs need the resources on this planet just as much as the humans do.
mhm,
And, like I was just saying with this next dragon going into place in a year and a half from now in July of 2026, um, how do I put this? They're trying to open our eyes, open our third eye to a higher consciousness and see things on a different level, not the mundane level. Like I said earlier, the two cancers that plague humans,
right,
politics, religion.
right.
If we didn't have those two things, what would we fight about? I'm sure we'd find something else to fight about, but eliminate those two factors and there's other, I know there's other things to fight about, but what I'm trying to say is um they're trying to enlighten us. That's the word. Enlighten us.
Yep.
They're not all bad. Yes, there
No,
are bad ones,
there are, yes,
reptilians and certain rate, certain races of aliens
right.
that
But the
are not
Galactic
here.
Federation is not anything to be afraid of,
Right.
and our government's already aware of them. Do you know what I'm saying? They're already aware of the Galactic Federation, and
Of course they are.
we even have a representative.
We do. I didn't know this. I don't watch the news all that often.
It's
So,
not on the news,
oh, who is their representative?
huh? We have somebody. We have I believe, a male and a female representative. for the Galactic Federation.
Mm. But you don't know who they are.
Mm-mm.
Okay. It could be anybody. Well, I do know this. It, the United States will be getting attacked. It could be nuclear. It could be, after all, look at our dragon's tail of this country in Aquarius. That's Nagasaki and Hiroshima right there. Us using nukes on another country. Well, it may have taken 80 years, but payback's a bitch, and karma sometimes takes its sweet ass time. So yeah, we
Um,
will be getting attacked. But I
they've
don't know
infiltrated already in our country.
if what,
I said they've already infiltrated our country.
who, the aliens?
No, the terrorists.
Oh well, yeah, some they're here. Some of them are probably operatives in our own government.
Hmm.
So, um, yes, that's actually a very, very true statement by what's going on right now.
I think of it. I think of it with everybody's um, upset because Elon Musk. When these people are not elected officials that are auditing and stuff like that. How many people work for the federal government that have access to our social security numbers and all
That
of our
is true.
personal information that aren't elected officials? I mean,
But
if we
how
think about it on state level and a federal level, really, I mean, what background checks have they gone through? What screenings have they gone through that um, they can have access to all of that?
I would like Elon Musk to have those screenings too. I
Well,
mean,
he had the screenings. He's got the clearance.
well, I've seen Elon Musk stars, so I know the real deal on him. Would you like me to share his chart? Can I share a chart on this?
Yeah, you can.
Let me see if I can find him. I have him somewhere. I did his chart back in 2022. Now, Elon Musk, I know this much. Elon Musk suffers from manic depression, um, severely. Not it, he's also has, what is that, Asperger's disease or whatever.
He was
Um,
bullied very badly
he was bullied
to where
very badly
he
as a
almost died.
child,
Yes, when he was a child.
but I still don't feel sorry for him. I still think he's a prick. But that's my opinion. And you know what opinions are like. I don't know if I could find his chart,
Well,
but I
being a
just,
prick, I guess, got him pretty far.
yeah, that's true. Well, assholes, that's how you make it in life. It's not by good people don't make it. You have to be a dick in this world to succeed. That's the reality of life. Elon Musk, where are you? I found him. Okay, how do I do this? Just hit share, share. Sharing is not turned on, so I can't share his chart.
Sharing's not turned on.
That's what it said. So I don't want to mess up your recording. But I
All
did
right, if
love
I
watching his
disappear, don't
kid
go
wipe a
anywhere
booger
because
on Trump's desk. That was entertaining.
hang on here. Huh.
Well, let me bring it up on my software. Musk.
Let me see. What if happens if I hit share? No, it's got to be from my Sonny. Get out of there. Oh,
Well,
she's so
there's
fresh.
his chart. There he is. Okay, bring him up. Oh, I know you guys can't see this, but just like this chart, his tail sits in the third house, and the third house is the house of mental clarity. It's the house of communication, transportation, siblings, community, neighbors, friends, but he has a tail sitting there. And when you have a dragon's tail sitting in the third house with what he's going through, let's see, June, July, it's an tail is in Leo. So third house, it makes him, he either suffers from some sort of depression. I don't know if he takes medication for it, but There is some sort of issue there going on. That doesn't mean he can't run his company, obviously, but I
I
know
think that 99% of people have some sort of depression going on.
well, yeah, but his is manic. His is where he needs meds to control it. Um, he has a Saturn in the first house, and when you have Saturn in the first house, that's a childhood illness. So he, like you said, had issues when he was a kid, special needs kid, was bullied. Um, so there's that.
Father was nasty to him too, I think.
He what? His dad beat him.
Yeah.
Well, that could make a person that could do something to a person psychologically.
Yep.
Um, I could see that. He has Pluto in his fourth house. That's drama with parents. He probably clings more to his mother than his father, which I think he has a
Hmm.
really good relationship with her. Um, let's see, June, July. He's a cusp baby. So what do I mean by that? He's born in June. Um, but he is on the cusp, so his sun is Cancer. So he's a Cancer, but he does have one, two, he has Saturn, he has Venus in the first house, and his ascending is um Gemini, which is probably why he gets along with Trump and Trump gets along with him because Trump is a Gemini and usually the ascendant is the hidden face you show the world. It's really like when you read your horoscope, doesn't matter whose horoscope, from what method, you always want to read your rising sign as well because it resonates. Like I go and read
Right.
mine and then I go, my rising's Virgo. I go and read Virgos and it's like, wow, that one made a lot more sense than the sun sign. So
Right. Right. Yeah.
always read your rising signs horoscope too, because I guarantee you, doesn't matter if it's modern astrology or Babylonian, whatever, it resonates.
My rising sun and rising are Aries, but my moon and my Venus and stuff are Gemini.
You're say that again?
My sun
Is
and
Aries.
rising, yeah, are the ascending, and the sun are Aries. And Gemini is for my moon and I think Venus.
Okay. Um, well, Elon Musk has what I call critical degrees in certain things. So his Mars is in a critical degree. His ascendant is in a critical degree. So anytime you have the ascendant, which is in Gemini, in a critical degree on the first house, this is the liar. This is the fibber. This is the one who exaggerates the truth. So I'm not saying he didn't find discrepancies because I don't trust my government, but I just don't think they're as entailed as he's saying. He's giving you a nice little speech. And I could see that when you have a critical degree, yeah, P. Diddy, those stars. When I had to do his stars, no, I literally
Did you want to throw up?
yeah, no, I had to go and pour myself a glass of wine because I sat there going, I broke out into a cold sweat and I'm going, all these years, it's not like I go and look at every performer, every person's
Right.
chart. But when I saw his stars, I'm like, oh my God, he's fooled everybody. And so sometimes, and the critical degrees in his chart, P. Diddy, I'm jumping. My ADHD, I have adult ADHD, so I kind of jump around, but P. Diddy's stars, those stars are where he was groomed as a child himself. So this is a lifestyle he's used to. And so I even think his mother pimped him out to other people.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And that's the person you get.
Every time I saw that man, even before any of this would break out, I'd get sick to my stomach.
Me too. It's like, oh my gosh. But back to Elon Musk, P. Diddy. I even have P. Diddy. I had to rewrite. P. Diddy's chart because the day I did a live on TikTok, after I got done, the cat knew. The cat took his chart and just tore it apart. All of a sudden, just went clawing at the chart, and I'm like, even my cat knows P. Diddy's a bad, bad man. He chewed the chart up. I'm like, oh my God.
Nice.
The cat knew too. But yeah, those stars. I mean, sometimes you just look at someone's stars and you're like, oh my God. But with Elon, there's some critical degrees there. Like, for example, he has Chiron, which is the wounded warrior, and it's like the wounds you bring in from your past life into this life. That's in a critical degree in his 11th house. So this is where he doesn't really make friends that easily. His friends are far and few between. There's a very small circle. And that's because of the wounds he's suffered in a past life. And that is on his, let's see, uh, June, May, April, Aries. So his Chiron's in Aries. And that's also where the friends that he does make in this life can become they're like enemies of his past life that come through in this life. So he does need to be careful for that. That is one thing that's a danger for him, is listening to those friends that don't have his greater good. I think that's probably why he keeps his circles small. But yeah, that's Elon.
I think in a lot of ways, I feel he's misunderstood.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you gave a Nazi salute, dude. What the fuck? Okay. I mean, my grandfathers fought in World War II to defeat this shit. And why are we resurrecting this again? I'm like, someone else said that he doesn't realize he's doing it because of his disease or his disability. And I'm like, maybe someone should have told him. I don't know. I think we always repeat history because we never learn. We never learn, so we just keep
We don't learn.
continuing to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. You know, I give humanity less than 50 years, if that. I'm sorry to say. I
Well, if I got to
hope I'm
keep.
wrong.
No, I'm going to say it. The COVID vaccines, the stuff they're putting in our food,
Oh yeah.
they're now incorporating the COVID vaccine and other vaccines into our food, into cattle, so that we get it into our vegetables, our lettuce, and stuff like that. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, and how do you know you're getting the proper dosage? But that COVID vaccine, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing with it. And I'm sorry. I've had several people who I've cared about suddenly up and die.
Really.
Several people that I know have this new turbo cancer, and they've had full series of the COVID vaccine. And why, before this turbo cancer hit, did they start opening up cancer centers in these smaller rural hospitals? Like, you've got to be kidding me. So now they got these cancer centers when they would see only maybe, 5 or 6 patients to do chemo, and now they're pouring through the door. Turbo cancer, breast cancer,
Yep.
lung, and throughout the lymph nodes. Suddenly stage 4, like you're fine and you're stage 4. What the hell? You know, um, they knew what they were doing,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it bothers
pharmaceutical
me.
companies are the devil. I mean, the pharmaceutical
Oh,
companies are just
definitely.
absolutely, that whole. I have not done Luigi's stars. Everyone's at, have you done Luigi? The guy that shot the CEO? No, I have not looked at Luigi. I don't even know Luigi's birthday, but I don't condone what he did, but I understand it.
I think he's a fall guy.
He yeah, I don't even think he did it. I took a poll the other day and they had asked me, do you think that he did it? And I posted, no, I think he's the scapegoat because,
Hmm.
I think it was someone else. I see your kitties running around in the back.
Is so fresh right now. She's my ginger.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
that's funny.
But yeah,
She's
I
happy
think,
because
like you
I
said,
won't
he's
pet
the
her.
fall guy.
Yeah.
I need to find his birthday and look at his stars. I'll write this down so I remember. Luigi.
Hey, want to hear something else?
Yes,
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive too.
I do too. People think I'm batshit
I
crazy.
think he's in Israel.
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's where all the pedophiles go. Israel.
Well, shortly before his arrest, all his money got transferred to banks, all his assets.
Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein. Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, I happen to
You're
have
all over the place tonight, girlfriend, and it's okay.
Herbert's chart right here. And if you look at Jeffrey Epstein's chart, eighth house, he has a dragon's tail in Leo and a Pluto sitting there and a negative and a critical degree of 22. That can mean one or two things. Either he's number one, it shows that he's a pedophile with children because
Mm.
Leo rules children. When you have the tail there with Pluto sitting there, that's death and drama and things to children. Aw. But
So fresh.
one or two things, he's either still alive, but he certainly did not kill himself. I will
No,
say that. Oh,
no,
there's that.
he is still alive.
Could be. I mean, of course, Israel's pretty war torn right now. A lot of it.
He's all right.
I'm sure he is. He's probably underground in a bunker somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's where I feel he is.
And they'll never release that list because there's
Can
too
you
many, too
can
many.
you can you quickly look up that one that we were talking about earlier?
Which one?
2016.
Okay, let's go
I just
look.
want to know. I'm
Okay, hold on. Let me go find him. Let me get out of his. Let me go find him.
curious minds want to know.
Okay, so 2000, I need to know where the node was in 2016. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm gonna
You're
go,
fine.
hold on.
Yeah, so when I did this time travel, um one of the things that I saw was um in the future, not too far away, like a revolution. Things are going to be chaotic and
Yep,
whatnot. I saw that the White House will be one of the places that will be attacked through this revolution slash civil war or whatever
right.
is going on because things um depending I'm curious as to see what they're going to find in Fort Knox. um if it's true that they sold off a lot of the gold, that the banking establishment sold it off for dirt cheap to European countries, which there's, my understanding, a bunch of it's suddenly appearing in New York right now from European countries. It's coming back, these bars of gold. And suddenly there's flooding at Fort Knox, and all
How
that
convenient.
whole area, it just,
I have an answer for you, but you know what? I know I have his chart sitting here too. Because I go on TikTok a lot and I do charts of people and just kind of reveal their stars. I get a lot of community guideline violations because
I
of it.
know you do it. I
Do
love
you
it.
see me go? I did a pukey thing. I did a clown. What the heck, people?
I know.
I'm always getting one. And it's like, okay, that's
I'm gonna
fine.
start making more appearances, more lives and stuff on TikTok. My daughter and her boyfriend are always like, "Ma, you gotta get on TikTok. You gotta start doing these readings and stuff on there and
You should. You should do
predictions
them.
and everything else,
I have a
Ma."
bigger following on TikTok than I do the 15 years I've been on Facebook or
For
however
Facebook,
long.
I have almost 5,000, but
I don't have
TikTok,
that many on
I'm
Facebook.
following more people than are following me. But there are things like, the crafting beaters or like the Chinese where they're doing the old dragon kilns. I love watching them, breaking open the things and seeing if the teacup is good or not. It's so stupid. But I follow a bunch of those and other things that are on there and recipes and I like TikTok.
I do too. I mean, sometimes though, the fighting that's on there, I mean,
I
I've
don't
pissed
see
off
it there.
a the
I
witch
th-
talk
I see
community.
it on Facebook.
Oh, I've never
Oh, with
seen
the witch
women
community.
fighting. Oh my God. It's like, are you kidding me? Brutal. I mean, brutal, like doxing each other. Um, yeah, just crazy, crazy stuff. And I'm like,
What is the
okay,
point?
I don't know. It's ego, what we were talking about earlier, because even in the witch world, there's ego. I don't care if you're a psychic medium, I don't care if you're an astrologer, a witch, a spiritualist, ego will always be a person's downfall.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
there's no
I
place
have an
for it.
answer for you to that
Am I
question.
wrong?
What?
Am I wrong?
Not exactly. No, you're not. I don't think
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, so
I
back in
knew it.
2016, the dragon's head was in Libra and the tail was in Aries. Now, let me show you Joe Biden's chart. Please ignore this. This is a chart I wrote up over a year ago. So when he
Oh,
was
I'm gonna grade
still
it.
running for,
I'm gonna
before,
grade it.
huh? It's a mess.
I'm
It's
gonna
written
grade
all
it.
over. But sixth house is the house of health and service to the world. So, um, that's very much a possibility. Very much a possibility.
I knew it.
The only thing else I will say here, we have 20. Even if what you're saying is true, the doppelganger is going to pass in the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Something's happening in the next 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. But yeah, that tail was sitting in his health house. That doesn't necessarily mean death, but it's not good.
6 feet under.
Oh, that is definitely a possibility there. Possibility.
I knew it. Yes. Sorry.
You want him dead?
No, I wanted the confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Where else am I going to get the confirmation from?
I know. But no, definitely a possibility after looking at that.
July of 2016, right? Yeah.
2016 was when Hillary and Trump were running, right? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. Interesting.
Would
Ah,
make sense with what we had with the last 4 years too,
with
either genetically produced or
robotic.
yeah, just by the actions and the movements and um,
Well,
glitches.
if that's the case, there was the short in his head. There something was
I
short
know.
wired because towards the end, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, this guy's running our country.
He wasn't, but yeah.
Somebody was. I shouldn't laugh. It's not very nice, but it was, and the time is coming for Trump too. The next dragon that falls into place hits his third house, and it's not in a good way. It's I don't know how to get the screen back up. Oh my God. So there's gonna be some cognitive, I can't even say that word,
Cognitive, yeah.
cognitive issues with him as well. But that we won't see that for another year and a half, and he'll probably uh play it off the best he can. But there it is. I'm back.
I think we all
I
need to take ivermectin.
do what?
I said, I think we all need to take ivermectin.
What is that? MDSO or whatever?
It's that dewormer.
Ivermectin. Okay. A dewormer.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Parasite.
Okay. What was I gonna
We'll talk
say?
about that after.
Melania. It's Melania that I'm worried about more. I am concerned because she and I share the same natal dragon. Right now it's in Pisces, the tail's in Virgo. She is a Taurus, but she's born in April. I don't have her chart in front of me, but I've studied Melania's chart enough to know that lady has some uh, occult skills. There's some skills there. Okay, she's got some skills in the occult world to, I don't know, control Donald in some way, even though he doesn't know he's being controlled. But April, May, June, July, September. Okay, so the dragon's tail is sitting on our sixth house. This is the house of health and service to the world. So I'm not hoping for this, but there's a possibility in the next 18 months you can hear about her going into the hospital for something or having some sort of issue. I don't necessarily see death. Perhaps I should go look at her chart. I don't know if I
She,
even have it.
I think she's beautiful.
I do too.
Isn't she gorgeous?
She's smarter than her husband, that's for sure. She's a
She's very
hundred times
intelligent.
smarter than him.
What
Um,
country is she from? I can't remember.
Slovakia or
I
Slovenia?
think so.
I don't
Which
know
would
if I
make
have.
sense because those countries, like Sicily and Italy and, you know, all have our different rituals and
Well, yeah, see, I grew up with a grandmother who did Italian folk magic. So, and she was into astrology. So I kind of but she was a devout Catholic and went to church every Sunday. But Saturday night, it was pendulum time, tea leaf reading, and cards, and then go to church on Sunday. I don't think I have Melania's Trump or Melania's chart here, but I do remember I have it in my head, so I know what's going on with her. So just be aware of that when, the news comes out. There could be some issues with her health or service to the world per se. Um, I know she doesn't want to be the first lady again. She does not like being in the spotlight. She's a very private woman. Um, What else can I remember from Melania's chart? I just know that that dragon tail sits on her sixth house, and that's not, it's natal. It's a natal tail. So that's not good when it sits on the sixth because it can affect your health to a certain degree. My daughter has a tail sitting on her sixth. It's in Capricorn. She's always having issues with her bones.
Mm,
She has a steel rod in her foot. She had to have a bone removed in her foot. She just, it's sixth house. Capricorn rules bones, teeth, skin, nails, you know. So she suffers with that. Now for Melania, it's in Virgo. So Virgo rules on the astromedical aspect. It rules the intestines. It rules the stomach, things like that. So there could be some issues with her internally. Um, that's a possibility.
right.
That's just a possibility. It's just a speculation from looking at her stars. Or she sits there and says, I'm done being the first lady. Screw this shit. I'm going back to Mar-Lago. Goodbye. And leaves
But
and doesn't.
but
I
she
mean, that
does.
could,
She does stay. She stays in the White House, but she does stay more in like New York City and her, there to be closer to her son or
right,
Mar-Lago.
right.
She does because she's very protective of her son.
Yeah. Well, she's a good mother. One of the parents.
She
Thank
is.
God one of them is.
She's right. She's right there for him.
Yeah,
He's a smart boy. Very
he
smart
is.
boy.
And he's definitely a mama's boy.
Yeah.
He's a mama's boy for sure. So
Yeah. He's very intelligent.
I've never
Quiet.
looked quiet. I never looked at his
Observant.
stars. I've
He's
heard some
going
people
places.
say he's the Antichrist. I heard some
No.
guy
The
say he's,
Antichrist.
I'm
The
like,
Antichrist is going to be Middle Eastern,
I think it's gonna be Asian.
one or the other.
Hmm. And he's not born yet. He's not gonna be born for another 5 to 10 years. I hope I'm dead when it happens because supposedly it happens around 2050. My daughter's like, I'll be 50. And I go, and I'll be 80. And I'll be 80. And she's like, oh, you better be alive. I want you to see this.
I want to be alive. I'll tell you.
Oh, I do too. I
Do you
just,
see this? Look at this. Look at this. Do you see this?
aw,
That's her. She does that to me or taps my face because she wants to be pet. See, she's fresh. What are you doing? She
cutie.
took over when Karma passed away.
Aw. That's what they do. One replaces the other. Not replaces, but
Takes
when my
over. Yeah.
when I put my Bella down in August, it was awful. It was like 17 years of this baby, and she's gone. And she was the kind of cat that would come up to you and give you like little kisses, nibble on your nose, just little baby kisses. And we had another cat, and he was very antisocial. As soon as she passed, he started sleeping next to me, and it's like, okay, you need comfort. I'm here. They know. They're not stupid. Animals are amazing. I love them more than humans. I'm sorry.
Hey, mine get fresh. I was working on bracelets. I've been making jewelry to sell. I want to put on my Etsy shop and different jewelry and stuff. And I had, my beads all out last night, and I'm working on this bracelet. And I had the lid closed but not sealed. She came running through here like a banshee, a bat out of
Oh,
hell, with the other two, and they're all playing. And she ran right across all my beads. And then this one whole container that
mm,
has like 13,000 beads in it just go up and over. Well,
aw,
most of them stayed in, but a couple hundred 6 millimeter beads went flying. Like
God.
maybe two or 300
I bet that was fun to pick up.
crystal beads.
Oh my God.
I was not happy. And you know what? She looked at me like, "You're yelling at me?" Like, and then she played, no joke, 2 hours of sulking with her back to me, sulking and pouting in her oatmeal because I yelled at her.
Cats are very temperamental. They
But
can be very,
she was very sad. And then the other two are looking at me like, "You yelled at her?"
how dare you yell at me?
It was like, but she was like literally pouting, not like mad, but pouting, like she put herself in the corner.
Aw, poor baby.
And now she's kneading next to me. That's
Yeah, but now
something
she's not pouting anymore.
she's not pouting anymore. No, she's in my face.
I
She's
love
kneading.
animals. They keep
She's
me sane.
kneading, and the last month she started sucking on my one blanket
Oh,
as she's kneading it. And I'm like, "Where's this coming from? Like, are you kidding me? Like, stop." And she slobbers all over my favorite blanket. I'm like,
oh,
"Stop. Just stop. It's so gross." Yeah,
animals are wonderful. I love them.
so gross. I got the one feral to love me up and let me start petting her because I put catnip in my hand, and she came
Oh
up
my
and sniffed
gosh.
it, and she started rubbing her head in my hand, and I started petting her, but she was like drooling all over,
We
like
have
it was
one
so
cat that does that.
sloppy.
Drools, our big black cat.
Hmm.
He just sits, it's like just a wet, bubbly mess. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah,
But the other cats I have don't drool that I'm aware of.
yeah. Just the two. I have three of them, and two of them drool
Oh,
when they're happy. Are you done sucking on my blanket? That's disgusting. No, she's on my lap. So that's very interesting. 2016, I knew it. I knew it. Yes, thank you for that
I'm
confirmation.
not 100%, but the dragon tail was sitting on his sixth house of health. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been something that happened and took him out, or he declined, or uh he got better. I don't know, but something happened. But, you know, that same
Six
placement
feet
is sitting
under,
on
baby.
the first
6 feet
lady's house now.
under. Yeah, that's scary.
So he might be a widower. There's that possibility.
I hope not.
Well, I do see him getting married again.
Really?
Hope I'm wrong on that, but I do. See, he's a Gemini, so things happen in twos, fours, and sixes. So he's on his third marriage. There has to be a number four. He has more, doesn't just have one kid or two kids or four kids. He's on five kids that we know of.
He
You know what I
didn't. He
mean?
didn't even. He didn't even want her to get pregnant because he didn't want any more. But then she did, and he was very happy about it. But he doesn't want any more kids.
Well, she's smart. She knew she had to get pregnant. She's not stupid. And I do think that towards the end of his last presidency, she had him right by the cojones. You want this, you want that, well then you're going to pay me dearly for me to stand by your side.
You think
I
so?
mean, all that stuff with the porn star, I mean, how humiliating for her. So I'm sure she got paid very well. But I think she had him by the cojones. And when I say that, I mean that because her stars, she is smart, but
Yes, she's very smart.
she's also mystical, very mystical and magical to some degree. So maybe she's a Slovenian witch. I don't know. Deep down,
I
all
think.
of
I
them.
think she. I think he listens to her more now, and he listens to Baron a lot. Baron is gifted.
I've never looked at that kid's stars. I do more personal charts for people than I wasting my time on the rich and famous is just kind of a waste of my time to a
Yeah.
certain degree, you know.
I think I highly believe he's gifted.
Could be, could be.
I do. All right, sweetheart. I am so glad you came on.
I am too. I just want to let you know that my handle, I don't go under my real name. I am Astrostrega. So if you look for me on the internet on Patreon, I'm patreon.com/astrostrega, Strega.
Yep.
So
And
just
also on your Lucifina on
and
TikTok.
do you know why that name stuck? It's an inside joke between me and my husband.
Is it really?
Back in 2011, I used to work at an AM radio station doing astrology with Dr. Louis Torrey, the guy who taught me this. And I guess that show Mob Wives was just airing on TV. I come walking through the door and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "I want to tell you something. There's a show on TV and it's your family and you're in it." And I go, "What?" I go, "What is it? Like a bunch of baboons? Is this a joke?" He goes, "No, this is you with your cousins back east. And when you fight, sit down and watch it." And I'm like, and the chick goes, I'm Lucifina. Don't mess with me with her New York accent. And I go, "That's it. That's the inside joke."
Nice.
On TikTok,
Nice.
I'm Lucifina.
Oh my God. When are you gonna come out east for a visit? You gonna stay with
I'm
me?
sure as hell not flying.
I know, right? I don't I
What do you
so
think? Before we end, I want your take on this.
okay. You want to know what I feel
Yeah.
between CERN and HARP and them sending off these EMF waves through the skies at night that are being sent from like 9 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock in the morning. I feel that all of this stuff in combination is affecting the the airplane's controls, and we are having more accidents. And I feel that it won't be too long before all flights are grounded until they figure this out. There's going to be more. There's going to be more flights that are going to have accidents, and I feel that it has to do with HARP, CERN, and the EMF radio waves that they're sending off from the towers.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't think you're that off, but I do know that uh Pluto, our
Mm-hmm.
planet Pluto, was in Capricorn for the last 14 years. It's a generational planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's in Aquarius and it's here for the next 20 years. Well, what does Aquarius rule? Aeronautics, airlines, space. And I sat there, and Pluto rules death and drama, drama and death in the skies. So if I do come to see you, I'm going on the choo choo. And I don't
You
take,
come on the
Mer-
choo choo.
and I never get on an Amtrak when Mercury's in retrograde.
Okay.
So, so one of these days, right now, all my money is going to help my daughters get through college. But someday I hope to come back east. I haven't been back east since 2004.
Really?
That's the last time I was back east to see all my family, who have since moved. A lot of them, they can't afford New York City. Staten Island is insane. The prices in Staten Island are insane. And they have money and they moved to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they told me they moved for that reason, I'm like, why do you think I left California? I get
Yep.
it. I get it. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me on my Patreon, I don't have a website at the moment because I don't have the money to build one. It costs a
I
couple of
do the Wix
$100.
free one.
You what?
I do the Wix free one.
No, I can't do the Wix free one. It won't let me. I have too much stuff on there.
Really?
Yeah, it won't let me do the free one. I have a
I have to
shop
tell you,
too. I
this is
sell
really
stuff.
funny. My one of my closest friends down here, um, he said to me, it was like 4 months ago, because oh my God, you've got to follow this woman because she is such a hoot and a half. I said, really? I said, well, send me the link. It was on TikTok. It was you. So you should have
What?
seen her face. You should have seen her face when I said, well, she's one of my soul sisters. Like, we're good friends. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He just loves you.
Well, at least she didn't say, "Well, this lady's a bitch."
No, no, she loves you. Shout out to Jody. So, Jody, you're going to have to watch this. Say hi to Jody, Linda.
Say hi to Jody. I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna go on TikTok and go, "Hi, Jody."
Yeah,
Jody. Okay.
Renee's friend Jody in New York State. Yeah,
Oh, how funny. What a small world.
yeah, yeah. She was like, she just,
Oh,
she adores you. Yeah,
oh, that's so nice.
I'll,
Sometimes
I'll
I
get
go on
you,
there and complain.
I'll get you her at sign. You know what her name is there, so you can tag her in
Yeah,
the
I'll
thing.
tag. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely do that. That's
that'll
what a
surprise
small
her.
world.
That'll surprise her.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Does
this
she
woman's.
usually watch your
I just
show?
love her. Huh?
Does
She'll
she
watch
usually
it.
listen to you?
Yeah, she'll watch it. Yep.
All right.
So I'm
Well,
thinking, I'm thinking Sunday night.
it's going to air Sunday night.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. I'll try and be in the chat for you.
Okay.
If anyone wants me to answer any
Yep.
questions, I'm
Same
there.
with me. Yeah.
Um, that will be Sunday night should work out well.
Good.
I'm DJing tomorrow and I have tarot readings to do most of the day on Sunday. So
Nice. Good for you.
yeah. Yeah. And like I said, my Patreon, there's a free one. You can do the free. You could do the $5 if you just want astrology. You could do the $10 if you want astrology and metaphysics. The $15 one is all about cryptocurrency and that market. I don't
I've
know if
never gotten into it. I didn't understand it, so I never invested in it or anything. And now they
really.
make you pay taxes on it, right?
Yes, now you have, before 2019, you didn't have to pay taxes, which was really nice because when, there was a lot of booms where, and
Mhm.
I haven't made millions or anything, obviously, as you could tell with my digs. It's a simple home, but you got to have money to make money. But you throw a 20 in and you make $560. That's a good day. Okay. It's
Mhm.
like, oh yes. A $20 making you $500. That's you don't see that kind of money.
No.
If I put in 1 million, I would have made 5 million. What do you mean? But I
I'll
don't
tell
have.
you what. If they're going to do away with federal taxes and stuff, I will. I'm going to talk to you about it because if I can start investing, I would like to.
Well, I normally do
Is it
this. I got to
federal or
get
state that's charging for it?
say
Or
that
is it
again.
both? Is it federal or state that's charging for Bitcoin for
Federal.
crypto? Federal, yeah.
Oh, and they want it all. They want to know every little, like I have some state where it like makes money every month. And all staking is they take your crypto and invest it in other things and you make money on it. But I get, I have to show all that. Even if it's 3 cents, I have to show it. That's how the IRS is. But um, they're kind of stupid when it comes to crypto still. They don't know, like my tax lady last year goes, well, you need to, you need to report all that. And I go, not if it's sitting on a cold storage, I don't. Not until I drop it on an exchange will you know that.
Right.
Once it's my cold storage is my personal bank because I will not keep my money on the bank in the banks. I keep as little as possible. All of my crypto is not even on the exchanges. It's all sitting in a cold storage until it goes parabolic. And then I go in and dump it and pull it back out and put it back on the cold storage. And they don't like that. They don't like that. They get kind of mad. She was a little miffed at me. And then I looked at her and I go, well, if I make millions, I go, I'll just go and get a 7702 tax code. And she looked at me and she goes, you know about those? I go, yeah. I go, I have clients that are multimillionaires and have taught me this business. Even though I'm not rich, they've taught me the business and they've taught me about how the billionaires make it. They don't pay taxes. You know why? They dump all their money into a universal life insurance plan called tax code 7702. They dump it all in there. They're billions, and they have several of them. You can only have like 7 or 8 million in one. And their universal life insurance, they pull money from it tax free and live off of it. That's how they make their money. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, you know about that? I go, I do. Too bad
So
you don't
why
let
would
the
she?
rest, they don't let the rest of the world know about it. It's
Right.
illegal. They're not allowed to by law to tell the general public about it. I had to have a billionaire or a millionaire tell me that's how he's made his money. And I'm like, wow, I'm really naive about this. I learned
And
about
why?
this a couple
Excuse
years
me.
ago. Huh?
Why would a tax preparer like be miffed about that stuff? You would think she would want to try to help you, right? Instead of being pissy.
Well, she was like scolding me. You have to report that. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've been stockpiling this on my hard wallet before you assholes started taxing us on it.
Right.
I don't have to report shit to you until I drop it on the exchange. Then it's reported. But they're greedy. So when I heard Trump was cutting that, I'm like, well, that's a good thing. I hate them.
Yeah, I know, right? And you know what they're trying to do now? Make
What?
it so daylight savings time year round. Yes.
Well, in Arizona, we don't have daylight savings time. Right now, I'm on mountain time. So I'm 2 hours behind you, not
Right.
three. When we go back and you guys do your daylight savings, I go
Then you'll
back to
be through.
Pacific time. I do not miss that time change. Just leave it as it is. I think it's ridiculous. It's like the Native Americans say, it's a white man trying to take one end of a blanket and sew it down on the bottom,
Yeah,
thinking he's going to get a
time
longer
and all that
day.
never existed until somebody got the bright idea to
Well, you know why they did it? It was
the farmers.
done for farmers so they could work later. But I that is the one of the things I did not miss when I moved here. None of that. I'm feeling so out of it. I feel so out of it when they do those time changes.
Oh
My
yeah.
body doesn't acclimate very well to it.
Mm-mm.
But since I've moved here, I don't have to worry about that. I get confused what time zone I'm in during the seasons.
I'm
Like,
sure.
where are we? What time zone am I in? So like now I'm on mountain time. Next month I'll be on Pacific time.
There you go.
So yeah, I do think they should get rid of that. I think it's ridiculous. It is. It's just ridiculous.
Yep. I
Nature's
can't
going to
wait. I'm looking
provide
forward
you,
to that. So
nature will
March 8th
provide
might be
you
the
with the
last time we
daylight.
change our clocks
Say that
ever
again?
again.
What?
March 8th will March 8th could be the possibly the last time we change our clocks.
That's good. I think it's ridiculous. And I think that people need to just be a little more in tune with nature and realize that in the winter you get less daylight and in the summer you get a lot.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? That's called seasons. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
No, I know. I get it. I get it.
Oh,
All right, love.
anyway.
I'm
Thank you so
gonna.
much for having me, and I will
Oh
make
my
sure I'm
God,
in the
it's been
chat
great.
Sunday night.
It's been fun.
It was.
Been fun, and it just hang on. I'm just gonna stop the recording here in a minute, but to hang on. So thank you everybody for joining us, and I'm gonna be on again, and I'm gonna try to get my friend on. who I've had on several times and talk about UAPs and see where we're at with the UAPs and the UFOs. And he's out in California, so he's been on, and let's see if I can get him on and maybe get an update on what he sees and what he knows about the UFOs and the aliens lately. All right. So I'll catch you again soon. Just pay attention. All right. Love you guys. Namaste.